Welcome back to News 3 Today. 2 years ago, Savannah's Springfield Terrace School was officially added to the National Register of Historic Places. Built in the Carver Village community nearly a century ago, the school provided education and resources to Black students and families in Chatham County. Well, this weekend, the City of Savannah's Municipal Archives Department is hosting an event to make sure the stories of the school and the people connected to it are preserved. Luciana Spracher is the Municipal Archives Director. She joins us now with more. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, first of all, full disclosure, I grew up in the Carver Village community and I went to Pearlie Smith Elementary School. A lot of memories in that building. Let's talk about the evolution of that school and its importance in our community.
So the building that the city owns is a 1926 building, and there were earlier schools in the community that predated it that were just in existing buildings. This school, though, was built for the African American students in the surrounding neighborhoods at a time when schools were not equal, schools were segregated, and the community came together to get the resources and the facility they needed. So that building was finished in 1926. It was known as Springfield Terrace for the adjacent neighborhood, and it grew, and in the 50s they did additions to it and they renamed it for Pearlie Smith, and many people do know it as Pearlie Smith School. So from the 50s through the early 90s, Pearlie Smith, again, just an anchor of the community right there. After the school, Pearlie Smith closed. It was a transitional school, which is important, and then Oglethorpe Charter Academy got their start in that building as well before they were able to build a new facility. So it has had a history as a school until 2012, and the city now is looking at how to return that back to the community asset. There are so many tight connections to that building, and we want it to continue to be that community landmark.
Now, the city has also received a grant to help with renovations of that building, because if you go through the neighborhood now, the big part of the building is gone. It's just that little schoolhouse where it all started.
Yes, the original four classroom building from 1926 is what's left. And so after getting it on the National Register, we did apply for a National Park Service grant through their African American Civil Rights Preservation program, and they recognize that this school is important to telling the history of segregated schools in Savannah. So that grant's going to help us do a buildings condition assessment. It has been vacant since 2012, as well as develop a rehabilitation plan that then we can leverage forward into the actual construction documents and get to work on it, and bring it back to its glory.
You're also getting to work this weekend because you're asking people who have any type of connection to that building to come in, tell their stories, hopefully bring some pictures along with them.
Yeah, so it's important not just to preserve that physical structure, but all of the memory and history that happened in it and around it. So we're looking for former staff and faculty, students, neighbors who maybe used the grounds or just interacted with the school and its people. We really want to hear their stories. So we're collecting oral histories, we're doing oral history interviews. If you have materials, photographs, your report card, programs from activities, we will have a digitization station. So we're not asking you to give them to us. We're just asking you to share them with us so we can make copies for everybody. And then we have a couple of other stations there for people who are camera shy and don't want to do an interview, just to share their memories. And maybe, a lot of times people say, well, I don't know anything, but you start talking to them and everybody's got a little piece to that story. And when we weave it all together, we get that full picture.
Yeah, I remember May Day right there on the park, on the field, having a field day as well. And Mrs. Helen B. Fletcher, who was a 6th grade teacher at the school. So once you get this information, how will that be used?
So we will be preserving all of it in the Municipal Archives, where it's available now and in the future for people to learn about the school. But as we are rehabilitating the school, putting it back into use, we'll be doing history exhibits in it that'll tell the story of the school, the communities, education in Savannah. Right now we're casting a big net so that we can then help have really meaningful interpretation of that site and everything that happened there.
Luciana, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have the information on your screen on how you can attend Springfield Terrace School's archive event is this Friday from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m., Saturday from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. at the Adams Complex Administration Building. That's on Interchange Drive. For more information, call 912-663-7075. Thank you so much for being here today. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more.